We're gonna listen to a little bit of this music, and as soon as you know what it is, I want you to raise your hand, okay? Okay, everybody, listen. 1, 2, 3. Star Wars! And who remembers who is the composer of this piece? John Williams!
Children will have heard Western orchestral music for the first time in the movie theater, listening to John's music, and that sticks in their heads.
It's not surprising when you say that you've got these kids who were inspired to pick up an instrument because of having seen a film in which John's music was featured.
And people for whom John's music is their first introduction to orchestral music will then be more open. Their ears will have been more opened by knowing John's themes.
Because of the fact that we've lost so much in terms of music education in the schools, he brought kids, teenagers, adults back to the concert hall to hear orchestras because they heard it in Star Wars, Harry Potter, E.T.
They'll find themselves in a Wagner opera one day and they'll hear that leitmotif going on and they'll say, oh, Wagner stole that from John Williams.
Even where I am today in my career, he remains an inspirational figure to me in ways that I never could have imagined as a kid.
When Star Wars came out, I mean, we saw a resurgence of the big orchestra score. We'd had many years of coexisting with synthesizers and synthesizers replacing entire scores. So it was really good for music and musicians all over the place.
I've had the experience of watching John on several occasions conduct a student orchestra. And my very favorite thing, he turns to the audience and he says, "Excuse me for a moment," and he speaks directly to the young musicians. And he imparts some advice about their future. It has such an impact for a man like that to speak to these students. And then of course at the end of a concert, he is always there for as long as it takes. He always has time for every single student to come up and speak to him. And it's just an amazing thing for the student.
When a young composer stood up and asked John about goal setting, any tips and suggestions, and John's response is that he thinks, well, probably goals are overrated. He said, what's really important is the work at hand at that moment. Give that the best effort and do the absolute best that we can at that moment to be achieved.
Working with John is a collaboration. It has nothing to do with ego. It has only to do with making the most beautiful music that it's possible to make. Personally, I think that he's always striving to be better, to do better, to make better music. And in that, he allows us collaboratively to bring it to life.
There's an atmosphere in that room when he's standing in front of this orchestra that's got everybody on the edge of their seats. And there's something about the greatness of the man and what he's created that I think pushes all of us to be better than we actually are.
The music that he writes becomes a part of our society as a whole. It's something that somebody who wrote something for a particular film lives on beyond the film in so many ways. People will emulate it, bands will play it, marching bands, schools will play it, jazz trios will play his music. It's stuff that people want to keep in their lives.
He's just a phenomenon. There is no other creator in any art form, really, who has just caught on like the way he has, and it's really remarkable.
And I feel like he's still teaching me today. There's still so much for me to learn, and I just hope that he keeps writing music. I hope he keeps working on all the things that he's working on, because selfishly for me, I learn every time he does it.